Hello, welcome to Soulprint Intuitive Tarot. My name is Cindy. Thank you so much for joining me today. I have some new subscribers, so welcome, welcome, welcome. I hope you enjoy the Soulprint experience. To my donors, oh my God, thank you so much. I say it every time, it absolutely humbles me. So thank you very much for that. To the commenters, the thumbs up, the people who watch this, thank you. Everything supports this channel, and hopefully if you like the message that I'm putting out, other people will too. So I'm very grateful for all of the support. Okay, so hey, big things are happening. It is June 3rd. So Peter Navarro just got indicted. That's what we're going to take a look at. For those of you who might be curious, I live in central Alberta, and as we move towards the summer solstice, we are now experiencing about 17 hours of sunlight a day. So, those long summer days can really make up for some of the cold winters. So I just thought I would share that with you. And of course, the farther north you go, the longer the time gets until you get, really far north. And then, the sun doesn't set just about. Okay. So that's kind of cool, right? All right. Let's take a, so this is the thing, right? Okay. So we've got, the J6 committee has announced that, I think it's Thursday, I could have that wrong, but listen, we are all going to know when those hearings are taking place. These are the public ones. These are the ones that are going to be broadcast. Apparently, the first one is going to be looking at Trump's behavior on January 6th. So I think that's probably going to include his being giddy and all excited when they were chanting "Hang Mike Pence." Apparently he really did believe that these guys were fighting a true and just cause for him. So that's going to be a really interesting hearing. And then the other exciting thing is this morning, Peter Navarro was indicted. Okay, so now he joined Steve Bannon for being indicted. But what's important is that Peter Navarro was his reason for not playing nice with the January 6th committee was executive privilege. Okay, that was his claim. Well, the fact that he has now been indicted by the Justice Department sort of indicates that they have resolved to some degree whatever issue it was having, they were having about sort of not indicting people, who were part of the administration, which makes me wonder where that puts Mark Meadows. And so, because I'm wondering, I brought my pendulum. So, for those of you who like to follow along, I'm just going to ask a few questions. But, for those of you who like to follow along, grab your pendulum, put me on pause, whatever you do to make that happen. And let's get started, shall we? Okay, for those of you new to my channel, this pendulum and I are very, very much in sync. It responds very, very quickly. So when the pendulum is going side to side like that, it just means it's ready to talk. Pendulum, show me yes. And you see it goes into a back and forth motion. Pendulum, show me no. And it goes round and round. You're going to see a slight vibration in my hand. That is simply because there's energy flowing through my hand to the pendulum as it is responding. Okay? So let's just start with, the big one. Is Peter Navarro going to be convicted for refusing to cooperate with the January 6th committee? Is there going to be a conviction against Peter Navarro for that? Yes. Okay. Is there going to be a conviction for Steve Bannon with regard to failing to cooperate? Yes. And of course, as we know, Steve Bannon had even less executive anything because he wasn't even part of the administration, but Is there going to be an indictment that comes against Mark Meadows? Is he going to be indicted? Okay, so yes, and like, listen, we all know that referral to the Department of Justice happened months ago. But like Smart Money is saying, because they went after Navarro, whatever concerns they had about not going after people in the administration, apparently, they've resolved that to some degree. Are the public hearings, are they going to shift the public dialogue regarding the events of January 6th? Is there going to be a shift in people's ideas and attitudes? Okay, so that's a yes. Listen, those who belong to the cult of the wannabe king, they're not going to shift. But I think that there are a lot of intelligent, rational, reasonable Republicans out there, and even independents, who, once they start gathering this information, are going to, there's going to be a shift. I agree. I absolutely think that's going to happen. You have to realize, like, not everybody is a political junkie, okay? And so people aren't paying attention to the day-to-day crazy. But when it's packaged for them and it's presented for them, particular, and like they're doing prime time and during the day, so I guess they're going to try to, grab as many people as they can, as many views as they can. And of course, this is going to take place over the course of June. And even though we all want it to be done in like, a week, it makes a lot of sense that they're going to drag this out a little bit because they need the television play. They need the airplay repeating over and over and over the things that were said at the committee hearings to sort of penetrate people's consciousness. So I'm glad to see that it looks like there's going to be an energy shift connected to that. Are there going to be indictments and convictions on people in the Trump administration as a result of the information that is released during the hearings? Okay, so it looks like there's going to be more referrals from the January 6th committee to the Justice Department, and that's excellent. I long said that, it felt like the Justice Department was dragging their heels, but it felt like they were dragging their heels to give the January 6th committee the time and the space to do their job. And it kind of looks like that's going on. And the other question I have is there going to be significantly new information being released that we just don't have an inkling of? Yeah. Okay, so I've heard some, reporters say like, "Oh my goodness, we've been hearing about this for months and months. Like, what don't we know?" I think we're all going to have our socks blown off by what we don't know. Okay, I want to take a look at Peter Navarro first, and I want to, I think, take a look at the success of the January 6th hearing. So here we go. For those of you who are new to my channel, I really am a very intuitive reader. And so the cards are used sort of as a touchstone. And as you'll notice, I don't have a regular kind of spread that I use. I don't use traditional tarot card spreads. So welcome and come on down. Let's take a look at Peter Navarro, shall we? Here we go. Ooh, Justice is on the bottom right now. That's kind of nice. Conviction Peter Navarro, conviction Peter Navarro, conviction Peter Navarro. Oh my goodness. Ooh, okay, now this is on the bottom now. So definitely, maybe he woke up to smell the coffee. He was on Airy Melbourne, MSNBC, a little while ago. Just basically going on and on about the role he played in the insurrection and the role he played in trying to overturn the election. I guess to the point where somebody, I don't know who it was, but somebody sent out a tweet to him saying, like, you do realize that when you talk on television, members of the January 6th committee can actually hear you. What a goof. Anyways, so I think he's going to be in some kind of trouble. Let's see. Okay, so this is sort of the thing. Up until now, he has been sort of having this attitude of, I was part of the Trump administration. I'm going to ride this for all it's worth. And I don't really need to be hyper aware. He's aware, but he really thought he was immune for some reason. And I don't know the history of Peter Navarro, but that name has been floating around for a while. And so I think he believes that his life has been, privileged. He's an important person. And I think that honestly, in some ways, he, like many others, really thought that they were above the law. And it's unfortunate he thinks that because there's more stuff coming out about him we have no idea of. And it's going to be very, very interesting. Not only as stuff comes out from the committee, but I don't know if the indictments themselves have been released. So, but there's just more information that has been in the shadows. And I think for him, he actually didn't realize that there was so much stuff there that could be and will be released in the public domain. He thought a lot of this was hidden, like he was somehow magically protected. And, listen, we know that the corruption runs rampant, okay? And he really believed that he was above the fray. That's a big energy coming off of this. Is you can't touch me. Don't you know who I am? That kind of an attitude, which of course just gets normal people, the hair on the back of their neck just stands up with that kind of nonsense. But unfortunately, justice is coming. And I got to say, with that Three of Swords there, it really just looked like justice is not going to go in his favor. There are things coming at him that he just does not want to look at. He doesn't want to accept. And I think he's actually going to put up some resistance to try to fight this off because he's one of those people, right? He absolutely believes that money and status and position are going to protect him. And he was so forceful in his kind of delivery, if you will, about how they were right and what they were doing was right, and how the election absolutely just had to be overturned. That's all there was to it. It's going to be very difficult to actually create a defense for him that is going to work, frankly, because he said too much. There's too much that's already public that is not in his favor. You've got the Hierophant here, okay, so that like government, right? And so the government is now finally moving forward. You can interpret this as the Justice Department if you wish. You can interpret it just as government overall. But there's definitely an energy that things are going to move forward on this. It feels as if this has been what's been so frustrating is things have just felt stuck. Like they felt like they have been moving through like molasses. And it feels as if energetically, once the J6 committee is completed its hearings, and they will then start doing these criminal referrals, because I think there's a whole bunch of them that they haven't done yet because they're waiting for all the information to be out in the public domain. I think you're going to see things starting to move ahead at a much faster pace than has kind of been what we've seen so far. The government, the Justice Department, the guardrails are going to stand strong against this kind of behavior. And, I have said this before, and I'm not sugarcoating it. The United States is in a very, very tricky position right now, because if there is sort of a like a weakness, the problem that's going on now with that insurrectionist type of energy is going to become more and more amplified, because there are, frankly, too many of those people with those kinds of attitudes who are still in positions of power. But definitely for Peter Navarro, it looks as if his fortunes are about to undergo a bit of a shift. And he's going to find himself literally on the defense. He's not going to be able to work his way out of this. And he does no longer have the support of Trump, of those he thought would protect him. And in fact, none of them do, because, of course, Trump is very, very busy, trying to save his own skin. Okay. So, yeah, looks like Peter Navarro is going to be just in for a bit of trouble. Too much is going to come out. There's so much we don't know. So much we don't know. And that is ultimately going to, work against him. Because as it gets released, more and more people are going to get wise. They're going to hear the information, and they're going to start getting a little bit steamed. And there's always that percentage of people, I don't know, what is it, 20, 25% of people who really don't pay any attention to politics, not local, not statewide, not federal. But, it seems to me that those kinds of public hearings can actually have a very profound effect in terms of raising the public consciousness. Let's look at January 6th committee hearings. I want to know how the hearings are going to go. I want to know how they're going to be received. So let's just take a look at that, shall we? Response, J6 hearings. Response, J6 hearings. Response, J6 hearings. Take a look, shall we? See what we see. Okay. Justice. Yay for justice. Things are going to become uncovered. They're going to become more clear. All right. This is awesome. So you have justice as the first sort of card, the signifier. And so what you have here is the fact that there is going to be a sense of not justice served, because that's for, the Department of Justice, but a sense that justice can now move forward because there is a cohesive, full-bodied narrative out there talking about the events of that day, talking about Trump's behavior, talking about the administration's behavior, talking about the insurrectionist behavior, talking about, what role the Roger Stones and the Mike Flynns and the whoever else's were playing. So it feels like the biggest sort of big takeaway initially, certainly, is going to be that sense of, okay, finally, we know. This is not going to be a replay of the Mueller report, because those kinds of games are not going to be played with this committee. And, there's going to be some news channels who are either, and I use the word news very loosely, who are either going to completely regard this or try to twist things. But, you get that like preponderance of the evidence, isn't that a phrase? Where, there's just going to be so much coming out. And I don't see where the average person is going to be able to ignore it. Yeah, you know what? Listen, this is the thing. We've waited for a long time. Okay, we've waited a year, but it just feels like forever, because the assault caused such deep scarring, if you will, literally on the American psyche. But the January 6th committee has both the Wheel of Fortune and the Star card sitting here. So this is an indicator that things are going to go their way. The promise that was anticipated when the committee was formed, the expectation, looks as if it is absolutely going to be fulfilled. And more than that, it actually looks like I almost want to say fortunes are going to rise and fall based on it's not, and you know what, this is the thing, it's not only what comes out over the course of June, it is the indictments that are going to follow. It is the public outcry that is going to follow. It is, I really believe, a significant part of what is going to kind of gin up people, if you will, to get excited about the midterms and to get focused. So now you have the women's rights issues, you have the gun issues, and you now have a level of corruption that I think is beyond anything anybody could have experienced or anticipated. They are going to take away the confusion. This presentation is going to be so clear-cut and decisive and logical that a lot of the kind of nebulous stuff, and well, I don't know, I heard something about that, and well, I don't really know what that's all about, that's going to start getting cleared up and cleaned up. So again, excellent news. And ultimately, the words, the presentation is going to get through, and it's going to start a new conversation. The January 6th committee is finally going to be able to unbind themselves. They've been working very quietly. There are strategic leaks from them, but it feels as if they are finally going to be able to really, really bring some clarity. And I think one of the things that we're going to find out, that I think it's just not going to make people feel very good. It might actually sicken them. It's how incredibly juvenile and unprofessional and frankly uneducated about the basic, this is how, government works in the States. I think a lot of that is going to be also exposed. Yeah, they will have done their job. And as a country, as a people, and let's not forget, this isn't just about the United States. People globally are paying very close attention to this because, when I said this before, we welcome the United States back into the fold, but it's always with a bit more of a watchful eye because you came so close one time, and because it was so close. You know, I think globally people want to know that there's going to be the safeguards put into place that need to be put into place so this doesn't happen again. I also just want to make one other kind of quick point. You know, one of the things that the Republicans do, and they will be doing as they go up into this next. Apparently, they already have a strategy to call into question the validity of the midterms. They're already working on that, and honestly, I think we're going to discover they were working on the 2020 election quite a ways back. Okay, but this is one of the things that you need to really remember. Everybody remembers when something big and outrageous is announced. Okay? People don't tend to remember when it's retracted or it's proven to be a false narrative. And one of the things that the Republicans really, really thrive on is getting people all bent out of shape. Apparently, a lot of the kind of laws, if you will, that Ron DeSantis in Florida has been enacting, they're all getting shot down in court. So, or a lot of them are getting shot down in court. But it doesn't matter because you see, he already got the base all riled up about it. That base, who could not for the life of them, any one of them, I'm telling you, could actually explain what critical race theory is. But boy, they're damn sure it shouldn't be taught in their schools, except it never was. Okay? Like, but it's okay. He made a big splash about it. Now people are all against something that was never really there. So it was a manufactured sort of deal. You know, for those of you who maybe haven't seen Wag the Dog, um, yeah, I think that's it. Wag the Dog. It's a political movie about trying to get a president, I believe it is, out of sort of trouble, and how they just create this whole other completely false narrative, but nobody actually proves that it's false. And ultimately, nobody cares because their direction was diverted, and that is exactly what the Republicans do. So while they make us crazy and insane because we can't believe how deranged some of what they do is, know that when it comes right down to it, a lot of this stuff is not ultimately going to fly. But what it does do is it keeps their base really whipped up. Okay. Have a fabulous weekend. For those of you who like to watch the weekly crystal readings, that'll be coming out on Saturday morning, and I hope you enjoy those. For everybody that is here now watching this and commenting and giving it thumbs up, I thank you so much. Until next time, take care. Be well. We'll see you really soon. Bye-bye.
Look what came out of my ear.
Oh, well, that's just gross. Oh, don't you look
look
cute?
at that.
I can see that. That's just gross. Don't you look cute? I haven't seen you do
Yeah, because I don't have class. Official class where we have to massage someone today.
Well, I know, but you have days where you don't, but you look very nice today.
No, every day
Oh,
I'm
really?
in school.
Oh. Well, you look very cute.
Thank you. Can I help you?
He says, you don't have to yell at me.
He literally held me hostage by the garbage yesterday.